I can't really show it all, but it just keeps going.
Wow. And so is that that's your office?
This is my home office. I have an office in Park City that I go into, and then I go up to Salt Lake a couple times a week. But once or twice a week, I'll be at home, and this is my home office.
Awesome.
I ran out of room for shoes in my closet, and my wife's like, move those things somewhere else. So I had to convert my office into a shoe room as well.
Well, and you take good care of your kicks too. I mean, you're every time I see you're wearing a new style of Jordan.
Every time I clean them every day. It's a problem. It's an actual waste of time because when I get home, I'd worn them, they're dirty. I clean them, then I put them up. It's an issue.
Oh, well, man has to have a hobby.
Everybody has their own vices. Dude, I could be doing heroin. Instead, I'm cleaning shoes.
Oh, man. All right, so let me kick this off. So I'm Matt Martorano, the founder and owner of Checkout Champ. This is a good friend of mine, Van Oaks. I know we only met a few years ago, but you've spoken at a few of our events. We've had numerous opportunities to hang out, not just together, but with our wives and breaking bread, having dinners. And you're a fascinating guy. Your background with what you've done with Diesel Bros and some of the other products, your rings, everything that you've done, e-com has been incredible. And I say that not to blow smoke up your ass, but when you come to speak at our meetup events, people are just blown away by some of the things that you have built, some of the just creative marketing tactics that you've built. So I'm going to hit on a couple of them, right? First, I'm going to talk about e-commerce membership and the reward programs that you've created. And then we're going to talk about a little bit of compliance. And then at the end, I want to talk about your strategies for SMS, because a couple of years ago, you said something to me that was crazy. You said for every dollar you spend in SMS, you're making at least 8 in return. Is that right?
No, that's wrong. 15. And I'll just explain how I got this number, because I helped build an SMS marketing platform called Via Software. The company brought me onto their board. They were doing business to business, like customer service type SMS messages, but they weren't doing any marketing. And they brought me onto the board, and I said, it's a fantastic product, but you're missing a marketing aspect to this, like an attentive or an SMS bump. So I actually helped them build this out. In all of my brands, SMS had the highest return. Always. Like I said, 8 most of the time. Some brands are getting 15, some brands get 6, but it was always a lot higher than all of our other paid channels, Facebook, Google, all of them. So I wanted to know what the actual value of a phone number was. So through Via's platform, because I sat on the board, I was able to pull over 2 million phone numbers that had been texted for e-commerce businesses. And I wanted to find out exactly how much each one of those were worth according to the revenue that was generated by those 2 million phone numbers. And the number that we landed on was right below $15. So if you could acquire these phone numbers, which you can on Facebook and on Snapchat and some of these platforms, you can acquire these phone numbers for less than $1. When I started doing it, we were getting them for 20 cents. Now it's closer to $1, maybe worst case $2. But if you're buying those for $2 and you're getting 15, 16 in return, I mean, that's a pretty good investment.
That's a great return. All right. So we're going to talk about how you utilize SMS platforms and the type of marketing that you build into it. But let's start with the e-commerce membership reward programs. Can you explain why having a membership rewards program is beneficial for an e-commerce business?
Aside from getting a 30 or a 20x multiple instead of a 7x multiple when you exit the business, if you're going to invest your time and effort into building an e-commerce company, the evaluations just aren't what they were during COVID. It's kind of came back down to where people are getting maybe 7 times EBITDA for regular brands, but the brands that have subscriptions, clubs, and memberships, they're getting 20 plus X multiple because you've got that reoccurring revenue model. Plus, you can afford to go and acquire customers at a much higher cost because they're going to purchase 2-3 times. Let me put it this way. My brand, Tough Ring, great brand, horrible business model, because it's a lifetime warranty on a silicone ring. We believe in this product so much that if you buy one, we'll replace it for life. If you lose it, if you break it, whatever. Great idea, horrible business model, because there's no repeat customers. It's not a CPG brand or something where we're shipping them something every month. That's point blank, as easy as you can see, that it's super beneficial to have a business where there's a subscription where they're coming back and back, because you can acquire these customers for 3-4 times the amount that I can acquire them for on a brand that only buy from me once, maybe twice.
So how can a rewards program increase customer loyalty and create that repeat business?
I do things a little bit different than most. If you have a really good product, especially a CPG brand, collagen or something like that, they need every single month. That's a little bit easier to make a subscription for, and you just offer a discount if they're on subscription. But one of the things that a lot of people know me for is running giveaways. We've built a lot of our subscriptions at Diesel Power Gear, even Tuffering, around a giveaway. So we make basically a VIP group. We call it the Diesel Club. I've got the Tough Club. I've got clubs for all of my brands and some of the brands that I work with. And if you're a member of these clubs, you get VIP discounts, 15% discount all time. And then also every single month, we give something away to one of our members.
Let's stop for 1 second. So just to give a little bit of background on Diesel Bro, they sell truck parts and equipment. And as you can see, that product is not something that's repeat, but they've created t-shirts. They've created other things that are related to that brand that people get excited about. And guys, you have diesel trucks, like I have a big F-250. I'm always putting stuff on it.
Right.
We love tweaking out our vehicles. And so creating that recurring VIP membership makes people want to come back because they're going to get a discount. They're going to want to buy from you again because you took care of them.
Yeah. The discount's important too. But with this business in particular, in Tuffering, for example, the giveaway to a member, and it doesn't have to be a lot. Maybe you give away an iPhone a month, or because everybody wants the new iPhone, or you give away a MacBook, or for truck guys, you can give away a set of tires or wheels or stuff like that. But we do a giveaway every single month for a member of the club. And a couple of things that does is it builds a solid community around your brand. Every single brand has diehard customers, and you should know who those people are. Go look at your Shopify's, go look at your Checkout Champ and figure out who spent the most money. A lot of your revenue is going to come from this top 10%, and they'll all be members of your club. And these are the people that you want to reward anyways with discounts and giveaways and private group. And it forms a really solid community around your brand where people just live and breathe your brand. They see other people that are winning stuff, that are members of the VIP club and so forth. Having a subscription is fantastic.
Well, you've done a lot of things to make that fun. Also, you've done videos where you're running through a hallway and shooting tennis balls at each other. You've given away trucks. Like I see these big diesel $100,000 trucks that you give away every once a quarter.
I've given away over $9 million in cash and prizes. And I've done that profitably. I'm not saying we're just throwing charity out there because they have to pay something to get entered to win this stuff, but we make it fun. When we pick these winners, it provides content for our social media channels, which a lot of brands are lacking. They're just like, what else can I post about my protein powder? And they do different images of it and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, how much do people want to see protein powder image on their social media? So it gives us other things to post about, other things to build our community with, of people winning these things and us picking winners and us interacting. We get to meet our customers, which is super important to a brand to understand who your end consumer is. I've always believed that it's the most important thing. You need to know who buys, why they buy. When we give this stuff away, we actually get to meet these people and we get to see where they're from. We get to meet their families. We get to see this stuff change their lives. And it's super rewarding as far as business goes, if you can actually get to meet the people who love your brand.
And the ancillary benefit is you guys are recording that and using that in your next promotional video. That's powerful. And I know you've been to websites and you're like, shit, this is boring. I just see a list of products and all this stuff. I like seeing websites that have the owners or their customers doing videos saying, hey, so I field tested this product. Here's how I think it works. And here's the benefit. People love watching that stuff.
It builds a relationship of trust. It's just natural for a human being to want to do what other people are doing. So if you go to a website and you see other people exactly like you that are doing this and that have a testimonial on there, or if you see the owner and this guy's exactly like you and he's talking about the product and so forth, it builds a relationship of trust that you can't otherwise do.
What are some of the other innovative ways that you've implemented to increase engagement and customer retention? Like top 5 things someone could do to start working down that path towards optimized rewards?
On the membership stuff, I didn't even see necessity for it. We were just scaling brands on purchases, and we didn't really understand until we started building a community on Facebook, building Facebook groups, and now understanding the value of brands that have these subscriptions. Yes, that's really what we're pushing for constantly. That's really all we want are these subscriptions. But there's a couple ways. One of the things that I love seeing people do, if you have a subscription group, if you have a place for them to communicate, for them to get to know each other. With Diesel Power Gear, we have our Power Club. These people, when they get their orders, they post pictures of their orders. They love it. They're posting pictures of the trucks with their orders. It's a great way for people to communicate with like-minded people like them. Another really cool way that we do this, I don't know of anybody else that does this but me. The longer that they're on the subscription group, every month that they're on it, we actually increase their entries to win whatever we're giving away. And just so you guys understand, this does not have to be a diesel truck every single month. Like with Tough Ring, I give away iPhones and $500 to $1,000 products. It's nothing crazy. But if our subscription's $75, they get 75 entries. The next month they pay $75 and they get 150 entries. And it just goes up. And what that does is that just keeps them on your subscription longer, because now they're getting so many entries for that same $75. And that's something we do that I haven't seen a lot of other e-com brands do. Instead of just offering them the same discount, make it more valuable the longer that they're on it.
Absolutely. Now, is there a metric that you guys look at? Are you looking at, I want to break even, I want a 2-to-1, I want a 3-to-1, I want a 10-to-1?
If you've got a business and you've got a marketing budget and you want to run a buy one, get one free product or something like that, you've got margin in there. We take 10% of all revenue that's typically generated. We put that all into a pot and we build a prize out of that. So if you're doing $1 million a month in revenue off this thing, you can afford a truck to give away every month. If you're doing $100,000 a month, maybe you've only got 10 grand. Maybe you're newer and you've only got 10 grand coming in a month. Then do something that's $250, $500. If you're not cash flowing $1 million, you're not going to go out and buy a $100,000 truck and try to do this giveaway with. So we do about 10% of total revenue generated for prizes and things like that.
Are there any specific tools, apps, or plugins that you use to track the entries and the rewards?
So we use Viral Sweeps, which integrates with Shopify. It gives them a login portal where they can see how many entries they have, where they can see how many people have entered and how many of the entries they get if they get an order, and it keeps track of all that stuff for them.
Well, going back to some of the things we spoke about earlier, your brand doesn't have to be boring. You look at companies like Diesel Bros, or you look at Dr. Squatch. These guys have fun with their marketing and their promotions. And really, when you have a brand that people can relate to, like you guys do, you're going to build that audience, and it's going to grow not only organically, but through some of these membership programs that you're running. You're going to see those Facebook groups growing and growing. I'm a gun guy, I'm a long range shooter, pistols. I joined these groups for 6 Hour, and everyone loves showing off. Like, oh, I just put this new red dot sight on, or I put this new scope on my rifle. People love that stuff. And if you show it to me, I'm like, oh, that's a cool little add-on. I may go out and buy it. Right.
Because these are people like-minded like you. These are your people, right? We live in a world today where it used to be your neighbors or your friends were your like-minded people, and that's all you had. And if you had a neighbor that was a liberal that wasn't into guns, you were just kind of screwed. You just kind of kept it to yourself. But now with groups and social media, you can have people exactly like you that have the same exact interest. And if they say that you should get this exhaust on your truck, you're going to get that exhaust on your truck because these are your people.
Yeah, speaking of which, this is not a paid promotion. Look at that rad 6 Hour. Look at that thing.
What SIG is that?
That is the P365.
Oh, wait, this one?
Comp. Yeah, so that's the P365. Of mine is the Spectre XL Spectre Comp. So mine holds 17.
Okay.
Yeah.
I feel like I have a small penis now.
You know, everyone's seen it. But this is also this is the best red dot for it.
That red dot's amazing. I need to get me one.
Let me ask you a question about Viral Sweeps and some of these other apps. Do they have mechanisms built in for compliance and regulations for the reward programs, or should you be calling it?
So that's a great question. When you're running sweepstakes and giveaways stuff, there is quite a bit of legalities that you got to jump and hop through, and it's not something that you're just going to know just going ahead and doing it. When we register these $100,000 giveaways, or even the $10,000 giveaway, you have to license, register, and bond these in every state in the United States. It's not a lottery, it's a sweepstakes, but there are rules and regulations around this. I have a law firm in-house that we license, register, and bond these types of giveaways to where you're legally compliant, and they assume all liability for you and indemnify you from any lawsuit or anything that way, because we do it all correctly. You could use any law firm, but you do need to adhere to all the laws and regulations for running a giveaway.
All right, so we're going to jump down and we're going to talk about SMS. When you look at an e-com brand, because we see all the data, they always fall short on email and SMS marketing. They just don't take the proper approach for cart abandonments and taking their existing customers and giving them reasons to come back to purchase other products. Now, do you guys outsource that, or do you do that all in-house?
I do that all in-house. For my brands, I do that. For my agency, I do it for my clients. But that being said, you can do this for your brand very easily. I mean, you should have an email marketer in-house. If you're using an agency, they should be doing your SMS marketing. And these are two very different things. But one thing I want people to understand very clearly right now is that email used to be amazing. And it still is a good form of marketing. But your average open rate on an email, typically it's between 20 and 30% for a brand. Guess what your open rates on SMS are?
80?
98%.
Holy smokes.
98% open rate on an SMS. First thing you do in the morning is check your phone. I guarantee it. Last thing you do at night before you go to bed is check your phone. I guarantee it. I sure as hell don't look at my emails first thing when I wake up, but I do look at my texts right when I wake up.
And everyone goes potty. What do you do when you're on the potty?
So I think SMS is extremely underrated. I think what happened was years ago, the TCPA compliance on SMS marketing was very scary, because if you sent one of these SMS to somebody who didn't opt in for your SMS, it was a $1,500 fine per text. I have numerous friends that lost their business because of this, that were just blasting out SMS and then they got a lawsuit. And turns out when you get fined $1,500 per one of those, that'll BK your business. In 2018, the TCPA compliance loosened up a lot on SMS marketing. They still do have to opt into your stuff, but now I think it's a lot less scary to send, and it's a lot more normal for people to receive promotional texts now than it used to be. If you have not done SMS for your business, you're leaving a ton of money on the table, no question.
Do you have a particular format that you like to follow when you're sending out an SMS so they know exactly who it's coming from?
So the very first text that we send out, and this is all automated flow, but the first one that they get actually comes with an information card where they click on it and they can add our contact. It says, welcome to Tough Club, blah, blah, blah. You'll get all the VIP discounts, everything, blah, blah, blah. And at the bottom, it has our thing where they can just save our contact. So the next time a text comes through, it'll say at the top, Tough Ring. They know who it's coming from because our texts come from the same number every time. And it's almost just like a friend texting them.
Yeah, and it's not going to go into their unknown senders folder, right?
Exactly.
Do you think that business should direct more focus on SMS than email right now?
Oh, no doubt.
Okay.
I mean, it's not even comparable. There's a couple of my brands that I don't even do email on. And that being said, I'm not saying don't do email. What I'm saying is that we see a much higher ROI on SMS. And I think that you should run both of these. I'm a huge believer in an omni-channel marketing approach right now, with the variability in Facebook and Google and just the privacy policy changes, everything that's going on. It's very scary to have all your eggs in one basket. I guarantee you, if Facebook went away tomorrow, 60% of businesses that run e-com would go out of business because they're not diversified at all. I believe in an omni-channel approach that you need to be diversified across all platforms, including SMS and email. And I think that they should be used separately. I don't think you should just blast the same email and the same text at the same time. Yeah. I think you should scatter these. I think you should do email this day, SMS this day, send 2-3 times a week, but have them be on different days so that they're not getting an email and an SMS at the same exact time.
You brought up a great point. How critical is timing? Because you said the first thing you do is look at your phone when you wake up.
So I've actually spent a ton of money on finding these questions out, and I'll share with you what we did find out. We do scatter them. We typically do more of an informational style email that explains more. We educate our customers more through email, and we do have more of a promotional based thing through text, just because you can't quite get as much across on an SMS as you can with an email, and it gets really expensive to start to include like pictures and everything with your SMS. So email, we educate. We usually do about 2 to 3 times a week. And then SMS is promotional stuff. And that's also usually about 2 or 3 times a week. It depends on the promotion and where we're at in our giveaways and so forth. But in regards to the question of time, when do you send these? We found that it was better to send emails in the middle of the workday, like from 2 to 3, because most people were at work and they check their emails much more often while they're at work. We found that it was better to send SMS messages if it arrived at their phone at 6 to 7 p.m. their time zone.
Their local time?
Yeah, because they're home, they've had dinner, or they're sitting down for dinner and they have their phone and they're disposable to answer their text messages because they got nothing else to do other than maybe dinner or their kids or something like that. They're not out on a job site doing anything. So we get the best return when we send SMSs in the evening after people are off work, but you don't want to send after 9 p.m. I think some states have rules against that, marketing after a specific time. But we always, somewhere between 6 and 8 o'clock is when we send our SMSs.
Excellent. So we keep talking about VIA. So how would someone access VIA to take a look at their platform?
If you wanted to get with VIA, you could reach out to me, but you can also just go to viacustomer.com.
And for email, you said you use Klaviyo.
I've used a bunch of different ones. I just feel like Klaviyo is the best for what I do.
Awesome. All right. Common myths about building an e-com tribe or fan base. Can you address the belief that it's only the product quality that drives the formation of a fan base?
It has nothing to do with a fan base. Let me explain. With Diesel Power Gear, we have 3 million followers, and our Facebook group's 150,000 deep of just diehard people. And to say that our product is better than other people, it's definitely not. We custom make all of our apparel, but no question, a Lululemon shirt is a more quality product than our product. But what differentiates us is that Lululemon doesn't have anything that talks about diesel on their shirt or anything that promotes America on their shirt. Our fan base, they want people to know that they're patriots. They want people to know that they love diesel because that's their interest. If your interest is golf, it's more important that the slogan or whatever's on the shirt lets other people know that this person's into golf so that they can make connections with people when they're out. I'll go to Mexico and I'll find people with Diesel Power shirts. Like, I'm serious. They're all over the world. And you just know right away that these are your people, that you could sit down and have a conversation. If you found a dude with a 2A gun on his shirt that said veteran on the side, I know you, and you would sit down and you would talk for hours with this person just because they were wearing that shirt and it's who they are, right? So I think it's more important when you're building a community that you just know your demographic really well.
That's why I don't wear anything on my shirts. I don't want anyone talking to me.
That's why I wear super, super loud shirts all the time, because I want people to talk about my loud shirts. When it comes to actually building a community around your brand, you need to have good product so it's not falling apart and so that people want to buy your product. But it's definitely more important that they just build a tribe around people that are like-minded.
All right. So just to set the expectation for anyone who's going to watch this, building a fan base, a tribe, a community overnight doesn't happen. It takes time, right, to build that fan base. Would you agree?
No question.
Would you also agree that it does not take a massive budget to do this?
I mean, we don't have any budget on the Facebook group that we're growing. We're not running any sort of paid advertising to acquire followers on social media. The only paid that we're doing is to acquire customers, but that's it. It doesn't take a crazy amount of budget to do this. You can start a Facebook group today for free. It could be on Parler, it could be a Telegram group, it can be anywhere. But at the end of the day, you just want a place for people of your brand to gather and share insight.
Do you ask for testimonials or reviews of your products?
We have an automation set up on Klaviyo that we actually incentivize. Once again, with an iPhone giveaway each month, we incentivize reviews. Once we get the notification that they've received their shipment, we have an automated email that goes out and says, if you could leave us a review, we're going to pick one person that left a review this month and we're going to give an iPhone. And it pushes a ton of reviews, man. I think reviews specifically on your product are one of the most important things that you can do nowadays. Amazon completely changed the way that people interact with e-commerce. They expect their orders in 2 days. When they look at a product, they want to read 100 reviews of why this product's the best before they'll buy anything. We even make our reviews look like Amazon reviews because we want people to feel like this is Amazon just because they're so used to buying that. Reviews are very important for your site.
Excellent, excellent. Well, I'm not going to take a heck of a lot more of your time. I know you just got back from Barcelona.
A lot for me, man. I told you, whatever you need from me, I'll do.
It is true that we take care of each other, right?
Yeah, you always have. You've put me up a bunch of times speaking at your conferences. So we have a really good friendship. So when you reached out and said, will you hop on a call? I said, tell me when.
Because I love you, buddy.
That's it. That's it, man.
You want to give a quick promo of your agency?
It's Goat Media. We run giveaways for all sorts of companies. Where we really excel is running these sweepstakes. We typically see 3 times cheaper traffic when you're running a giveaway, just because of what you're offering, really. We have a law firm in-house that does all the stuff, that license registers, and we get it up and running. We're doing this for NASCAR. We're doing it for a bunch of people just because it's a proven business model that works well and it boosts sales.
What's the website?
You can go to vanoaks.co or you can go to goat4media.com. If you have a question for me, I'm most active on Instagram.
It's your boy, man.
I mean, it sounds ridiculous, but I'm most active there. If you have a question, it's your boy Van on Instagram. If you reach out, I'll answer any questions that you have. But I've got my website. Check those out at goat4media.com and then vanoaks.co.
Awesome. Well, again, I appreciate it. Say hi to the family for me.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me, Matt.
All right. Take care.
All right. Later.
Bye.